It isn't. It isn't. Dogs bark for different reasons. Dogs bark because they want something. That could just be attention. They could be barking because they're excited. That's very common, that they'll bark when they're excited. An example of a dog that's excited might need to go to the bathroom. Also, they can be conditioned in. Like say the dog needs to go to the bathroom and you let the dog out. Now the point of it is you don't want the dog to be telling you when it needs to go to the bathroom. That's like, I give you an example of a thing that people condition in with a dog that's absurd. You could teach a dog that when it rang a bell, it got to go outside. So there's this like gimmicky stuff that people put out, about dogs. There's a lot of trying to sell gimmick. Even the expensive e-collar has a lot of bells and whistles, and it really isn't worth that, I'll tell you that. It's not a good collar. I don't recommend it. But for some time, how about like training the dog to ring the bell to go outside? Well, if you do that, dogs are going to want to go outside all the time. So the dog is just going to be ringing the bell constantly. All right? So that doesn't make any sense. And the point that I'm trying to make is, you should be taking the dog out before it really needs to go out. So you schedule the dog in, when you're feeding the dog, when the dog's getting water, when the dog needs to go out. All right? So another problem with barking would be a dog with separation anxiety. Now, we have a dog here that's staying here. It's a poodle. It's a great dog. It really is. It's got separation anxiety. And it's in remission, but they'll flip back in and out of it for a while. And this morning there was some barking. Now there was some barking because the dog was excited because the dog needed to go out. And I did have a bark collar on the dog, but maybe the bark collar needs to be charged. Okay, so you could say trainer error. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the dog needed to go out. Okay, but it's a separation anxiety dog, so a lot of times these dogs just bark a whole lot anyway. They're very vocal. However, you could look at a dog that doesn't have separation anxiety, like my dog Tonka. Tonka's a GSP. And he's extremely vocal. And he's vocal, he's a brat. He can be a brat. But at times it's totally quiet, he's chill, it's great. So, it's the type of dog that I have. It's a very vocal dog. When I got Tonka, I looked for him. Me and my father looked for a breeder of a certain kind of hunting dog. I don't know what I was thinking, like maybe I was gonna, I could make money with them, like, competition, shooting competitions and stuff like that. It's like a professional guide dog. So, do I need that much of a hunting dog? No, I don't. I haven't even been hunting the last few years. But when I drove down to Georgia to get Tonka, I pulled up it was a veterinarian that bred these GSPs. I drove up onto his property, and he had about 45 GSPs, and I believe he was breeding some Britneys too. Every dog in that place was fucking going off like crazy, and they didn't stop. And I thought to myself, oh shit, I had all my bases covered, except I did not ask how vocal are the dogs. I was already down there. I was going to get Tonka. I already gave the deposit, and I'm the kind of person like I'll deal with what I got. That's what I have, and that's what I'm going to deal with. So, very vocal dog, and I knew it. So Tonka this morning, not one of the dogs. There was only one dog that was making noise and consistently making noise. That's the separation anxiety dog, Merlin. Baby was laying down. She's picked up on it. Tonka was laying down. Billy, all the dogs were laying down, and they know not to fuck with me in the morning. Do not bark ever around Peter, because he's gonna get pissed. He's not gonna like it. Shut up until And we really, everybody's pretty quiet until maybe I might feed. We might start hearing some noise or something. And then everybody has to shut the fuck up or else I'm not going to feed you. I will not feed a dog that is making noise. So the point that I'm trying to make is a dog should pick up on this, that don't screw with you in the morning. They should not be having any type of attitude like this. They shouldn't be barking about a thing. Shut up. Don't make any noise. Sam the Raven. My Raven, when we were living in Brooklyn, it was a big open loft space. He knew not to mess with me when I was sleeping. No animal screws with me when I'm sleeping. Do not do that. It's bad for a human to screw with me when I'm sleeping. I have a sleep problem. You know, you want me to be grumpy? Wake me up. Wake me up. You better just let me sleep and just let me kind of wake up on my own, or else I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna, you know, and the dogs pick up on this. They can read shit about you, and what they can read about you is good or bad. It's just black and white. So either everything's good boy, or you're not pleased with them. So they pick up on that, like, don't fuck with him in the morning. Don't even, like, you know, just stay sleeping. That's the best thing to do. But the separation anxiety dog, for whatever reason, I think I know the reason, was making noise. So I got up out of bed, and I came down. I checked the bark collar. It appeared to be on, but I'm going to charge it. And he was barking. Now, what do I think he was barking about? I think he was barking about that he needed to go out. And the reason why nobody else needed to go out and he needed to go out is that he is on pet food. And the reason why he's on pet food is because he can't be on raw diet because he's allergic to bone-in chicken. Now, when the owner was coming, I'm like, well, I might be able to feed him pork loin because that's what he's on, a pork-based diet. But pork loin, I can't afford to feed the dog that's on pet food pork loin. It'd be very expensive for one dog. It'd be $7 a day or something. I can't afford that. So I bought the pet food that he's been on in Canada. So why is that different than raw diet? Well, here's the deal. Dogs that are on pet food drink a ton of water because it's dry, even though that I will hydrate the kibble before the dog eats it. It's dry, and it causes a problem because they have to hydrate the dog food that they eat. It's like eating crackers. You're going to drink a lot of water because it's just dry. So it causes this problem. So you end up with dogs that drink too much water. And every time Merlin comes out, he's going towards the water. It doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night, he's going to go get water. Even though I hydrated the food already. Because it becomes this behavior, because raw diet is the way to go. You don't have this. And an example of that would be the wintertime. I have a water bowl out, right? There's only been, this week, 2 dogs that even took a drink, which only lasted 2 or 3 seconds. And that would be Billy the Hedgehog, and Gus, and of course the dog that's on pet food who just drinks. And Billy and Gus just had like a 1, 2, 3, and then went back to their kennel. In the wintertime, dogs barely even hit the water bowl. It's the truth. The only time you really need to have water for the dog on raw diet is during the summer. It's there, but they don't drink it. I'm just telling you, these are the facts. This is one of the reasons why, to get the dog housebroken properly, don't even go to pet food, man. Don't do pet food. It screws your dog up and makes it harder for you. So, because the dog is on pet food, it does make it harder for me. Because Merlin will sit there and drink. Now, since this happened this morning, there's a new rule, and this is a rule that you can use with a dog, especially a puppy. And that is no water past 8 o'clock. That's it. And I also have At about 8, if they're going to have water, I have this 15 to 20 second rule. You have 15, 20 seconds to drink. That's it. I've already hydrated the food when I gave it to him. He's had water all day. He doesn't need that much water. So when I take the dog out again after 8, the dog does not get to drink out of the bowl. When the dog goes out in the morning, then he can do his drink, 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 drink. There's not much you can do if your dog is on pet food. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do this. And if they do this, they load up with water, then they have to pee. And in Merlin's case, the dog gets excited, or a combination of being excited and bratty, I want to get out. I want to get out. That's it. Not all barks are the same. But remember, barking doesn't help, because barking, what the problem is with barking is that it just exacerbates the excitement. So, like with the separation anxiety dog, you want that dog as quiet as possible. I want Merlin in the down position. So even though he started this stuff, I put the mini educator on him, and I'm going in there, no, down. I'm taking a bath with this in my hand. I'm away from him right now, so I cannot use this. But I had this in my hand, and I was like, if I hit the tub, he would start barking again, because he was doing it this morning, where most of the mornings he's been real quiet. But last night I took him out late, and he drank a lot of water. I think I had him out at like 11:30 or 12:30 maybe, and he came in and he was drinking water, and I was like, well, this isn't real good. But he'd already drank it. I was doing something else. I was taking collars off the other dogs, and he already drank it. And then this morning I woke up and he was barking. So your barking with your dog just causes, it makes the excitement worse. So your dog with like separation anxiety, one of the main things important things that I do with the dog is, man, they got to stop barking. So a dog will growl and then they'll bark. So if you even hear the dog doing a vocalization like a growl, you don't want them doing that. Like there would be sometimes I'll hear Merlin, I'll be in the kitchen, off from the room that he's in, and I'll hear a low level growl. I'm correcting that dog. There's no other way you can do it. You have to make sure that the dog is quiet. The quiet dog is a happy dog. The dog that's barking or growling or, doing whatever isn't happy. It doesn't matter if it's barking at a dog or a human. There's this excitement, and, it's not good. They bark, lunge, and then they bite. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You need to be quiet dog. So with the separation anxiety dog, it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work, and the dog owner, really, I don't know how they would do it. I do it for a living. So I'm like, the first few days I was just like, I was up all night. You got to be consistent. And then now I'm even being more consistent, and I'm controlling the e-collar. I don't even have a bark collar on him. Right now, I have a bark collar on him, but when I go back, bark collar comes off, and I'm just using the remote. Along with me, I hear him barking. I'm walking towards the door. I'm going to open. I'm using the e-collar at whatever number I find appropriate to get him to quit. I'm opening the door. No, down! Like that. You need to shut up, dog. Down. He's not... If they're standing up and they're panting, that's not good. Dogs with separation anxiety flip in and out of it. That's like any behavioral problem. They'll sort of flip in and out of it, and you have to stay on target. So like with Merlin, he's pretty good with some stuff, but like he was dropping retreat, like you could throw a Frisbee, but he would catch it and then just drop it. So now he's not. He caught the Frisbee yesterday, which is great. But if he starts dropping it again, I'm on him like sink on catfish. Because if that dog starts dropping it, it's gonna, manifest itself in other areas. It's not just him dropping the retrieve. It's him saying, I don't have to do your shit. No, you do. You do my shit my way. I don't want to sound like the idiot from TV, but you do it my way, and it goes easier, and you get to play the game. You do it your way, it's annoying me, And I'm not giving you shit. You don't get out of the crate for doing this crap. You're in that crate until I tell you to get in there, and you will like it. I use the analogy, I'm a minister, it's true. But say I was a kid, we didn't go to a lot of church. We did go to church as when I was younger. Funny thing, my brother is a minister too, sort of high up in a church, you know. But my point is, like, say we go to church, I don't want to put on the coat and tie, Mom. Get upstairs, put the coat and tie on, and get down here. We're going to church. And after some time, I got used to the tie. My brother had to wear a tie to school. He went to an exclusive private school in St. Louis. They had to wear ties every freaking day. So I got accustomed to it. If I wanted to put on a tie, I know how to tie a tie and everything. I don't like them, and I'm not going to wear them. But my point is, you don't let the kid tell you what you know is best for the kid, right? That tie wasn't hurting me. It wasn't hurting me. Put your tie on. Let's go. You're wasting our time. Let's go. Come on. So it's the same thing. I don't want to think too. I'm using these analogies, and they sound like I look at the dog in an anthropomorphic way, and I do not. I see the dog as a non-human, and that's how people should do it. But to try and make sense of the dog, I will use analogies like that. But it is a non-human, and they don't have free will. You know, it's compulsion. You do this, dog. You do it. That's it. And then it's muscle memory. Muscle memory builds up. And with your positive reinforcement, the dog starts seeing it as something that you really like. But when you're talking about a dog that has separation anxiety, there's negativity used. And that's a problem because the dog's cute. I was talking about this the other day. Like, what's a hard dog to deal with is like a cute dog, and they're all cute. So you love your dog, but people have trouble using discipline or correcting the dog because the dog's always doing something positive, which is cute. But if you don't do that, remember, love is not enough for your dog. It is definitely not enough for your dog. It needs training and discipline. Your dog should function with trained commands. If it's functioning instinctually, that's all bad. That's all bad. The stories of the dog that like stays by the child, like in the woods, the kid walks off into the woods, right? And the dog stays with the kid until the rescuers show up. That's trained. That's a trained in thing. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, it was trained in. That's it. The dog doesn't instinctually know how to do this. You couldn't take a dog that hadn't been around people or, kids and send it out doing search and rescue, or bring it into a family, have the kid walk off, and the dog would give a rat's ass. That dog had been around the kid. The kid, gave it attention, and the dog stayed with the kid. The dog was in the backyard at the time. See what I'm saying? That's all trained in. Whether you train in stuff intentionally or unintentionally, like separation anxiety, that gets trained in. Barking too. Barking gets trained in. If you let the dog continue barking and you don't use enough pressure, the dog just keeps barking. That's why I said the other day, like, somebody was asking, well, how do you teach the dog to speak? I don't recommend you do that because you're never going to get the dog to shut up. So don't do that. Don't train in stuff that's a waste of time. Paw. Why are you training paw? Right? The only reason I ever train that in is if I'm teaching a dog to hit a light switch. And touch, give me a break. You have a dog bumping up against your hand with its snout. Disrespectful. Touch. Trainer wants to teach your dog that. Get away from them. They're selling you nonsense. They are. Your dog would probably like doing it. Just because a dog likes doing something doesn't mean it's good. Okay? doesn't mean that it's good. Yeah, they're hardwired to be dominant. Most of them are. So you're letting a dog hit you with its snout? That's the same thing as going up to somebody and punching them in the shoulder. Hey, fucker. That's what the dog's doing. You let a kid start doing that, punching each other, they keep doing it. Don't let your dog do that touch. Oh, yay. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you, this food training thing's been a scourge upon dogs. We have 4 to 6 million dogs dying every year, and then we have like stupid pet stores selling dog puzzles and stuff. Oh, okay, so you won't train the dog to be compliant outside, but you work inside with food, training your dog to do a dog puzzle? You think your dog's gonna be smarter doing that? Is that what you think? Because your dog's never gonna melt down metal from the Earth's crust and make a spaceship, okay? It's a fucking dog, okay? It's a dog. I gotta go in here real quick. I'll be, all right, everybody seems good. I have to run in here to Dollar General and grab something. Just want to make sure that looks like Toxic has got control. Some other monitors here. Nano's here. Oh, Merry freaking Christmas. Yeah, I will. Hang on. Be right back. I need a mask. I'm getting a mask not only because it's smart, but because it's law in New York State right now. Okay? What's your political statement? It's ridiculous. Yes, you can still get COVID if you have the vaccine. Okay? Not all vaccines are not 100% effective. Okay? It's not 100%. However, if you do get it, it might make it a whole lot less severe, and that's the case. That's what they're saying. Is it way less apt to get have a bad outcome? And it's the people that are not vaccinated that are really getting it. But you can get a breakthrough. That's a fact. But I tried to explain this yesterday on my channel, and there were people going, "It's a lie." No, it's not. It's not a lie. It's statistical facts. Okay, so believe whatever crap, right-wing crap you want to, but that's nonsense. Or anti-vax crap, that's nonsense. You know, does the mask really hurt? Does it hurt you? Does it make you look weak or something? Are you like a tough guy that smokes cigarettes? Look at me, I'm really tough. I don't want to get sick. I got shit to do. I have to work with dogs. my God, self-absorbed people, you know? It's like, so there's this woman in there, old, at least my age, and she's buying smokes. So she's a real genius, clearly. Nothing like a good cigarette in the morning, right? I'm out of smokes. I gotta go to Dollar General and get me a pack. I didn't see what brand she was getting, but, you know. So she gets her smokes. After she gets the smokes, she starts looking around for gum. The person is trying to hand her change and her receipt. Her hand is out. So she picks up one pack of gum, puts the other pack of gum. This went on for about 25 seconds. The woman has the change in her hand, wants to hand it to her, and I'm behind her. She couldn't have cared less. She couldn't have cared less. Could you, I was real close to, could you take a little bit more time? I learned that from my dad. Being not patient with stores and shit. I'm okay with it, sort of, unless I run across that shit. Like the person that just like is taking, you know, like they already. It was yesterday too. I was someplace that, like, they bought something, and then they bought something again. You already paid for something. Why didn't you get back in line? Okay? Why didn't you get back in line? No, you had to, like, oh, you know, I forgot. Could I have that over there? Right? And that? I've seen people do that and then pay for that. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I'll lose it. I go, you know, what's your deal? Excuse me? What's your deal? I'm working, she's working. Could you please fucking get out of the way? You're already in line, you're taking up more time. Like, just this total lack of consideration. I'm looking at a bag of fertilizer down there. I'm gonna fertilize my garden heavily this year because I burnt the shit out of that stuff. There's nothing in that soil, I don't think. I might even use like manure or something too. But vegetables did lousy this year. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I saw like fields around here. All the fields that bring in the manure trucks, you know, and spread it over the, man, they did great. The corn looked great. And then there were clearly fields that didn't use it. Man, these little stunted corn plants, I don't even know if they like, what do you do with those? Leave them in the field? So it pays off. So I think the best way to do it would just get like a 50-pound bag. 50-pound bag of fertilizer. Fertilize that and my pawpaw trees too. I should probably fertilize because they are definitely producing fruit. You know, I had over 300 pawpaws this year. I had more pawpaws than I could process. I was doing it myself though. Destiny had her cousin here, so she couldn't, you know, I wasn't going to ask her to help. So I did figure out a way to process something that works pretty good. It's that, you know, you have to like use like a food mill. It'll work pretty good. So like next year, we'll process more of them, but I think I'm going to have too many and I'm going to have to sell some of them. So I'll contact this place in Ithaca. The Corning store, I think it's called. No, it's not the Corning store, it's the Cornell store is what it's called. And see if they want, you know, the pawpaws. So I could probably still give. I could take them into the city. I have buyers in the city, but I don't know if I'm going to drive that far. It'd be easier just to drive them up to Ithaca. Give me a check, take them, you know. Wholesale, they're selling them for, you know, $12 a pound or something, $11 a pound. I'm gonna want, I don't know, I'll see what they offer. I would just, like if they gave $8 a pound, that'd be pretty good. So, I got to do some stuff with the dogs. Merlin, I work on catching the frisbee more, and well, actually, him picking up the frisbee better because he starts fucking around with it with his paw. I can't have him doing that BS. He needs to go pick it up, bring it back. He can pick it up real good if it's flipped upside down, no problem. But you know, I don't mind him taking the paw and getting it going, like, and then grab it and go. But he's doing this way too much. He can't do that. He's a great frisbee dog, I can tell. What else? And I think Baby and Merlin, we're going to work with the starter pistol too. You know, I need to put the nail in the coffin because that dog will haul ass after a dummy launcher, I can tell. He's really into retrieving. You might not see it a whole lot, so got to do that. And with Baby, I think I have like two canvas dummies, adult dog size dummies. I think I'm gonna go out in the field with her and do some casting by just putting one to the right or to the left and, you know, pushing her that way, or maybe even like see if I could get her to like throw a retrieve. Let's see if I could do a whistle stop going out. I might take a long line with me. See if I can get her to do that. And the long line, so the long line would be on her. So I'd throw it, I'd send Baby out. Well, how am I gonna do this? No, I wouldn't throw it. I need three. I gotta find another canvas dummy. So there'd be 1, 2, and then one farther. So I'd send her for the farthest one, right? So there's muscle memory. She's going for that, and then I'd send her to that sometimes, but I'd stop her and send her the right or left. So that's what we'll do. I think she'll get it. I'll get her to do it. Oh, she's gonna do it. That's the whole deal. You're gonna do it, baby. You know. So I gotta go in here and see if Merlin's keeping his trap shut, which he better be. He's a real good dog. He is a real nice dog. Do they have any glasses or anything? Oh yeah, I do. So anyway, that's about it. I'm telling you. Let me stress this one more time, and I can say this because it's factual. Okay, it's fact. All right. If you get the vaccine, you could still get COVID. That's called a breakthrough infection. But here's the deal. But most of the people that are getting infected don't have the vaccine. But you could get COVID. Now, like with the flu shot, COVID's the same way, in that if you have the vaccine, you could have a much lessened infection. It would be less severe. So when you hear the disinformation put up by the anti-vaxxers, there's still people getting COVID that are vaccinated 3 times. Yeah, that could be possible. But they're better off because it's not going to be as severe. Why they're getting COVID, there could be many different reasons. There could be viral load. If they're around somebody that has it real bad and there's a huge viral load, maybe they have, like, say you have a 90-year-old, right? 90-year-olds would have a tendency to have a sort of compromised immune system because they're 90. So even though that they have I'm not a doctor, okay? I read. Even though that they have 3 vaccines, they have the booster too, they still might get COVID, but they're going to be better off because they have the vaccine. Why is this so hard? I'll tell you why this is so hard. It's because there's people putting out disinformation about this, and it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. I want like a pretty normal life again. I like it when I have a lot of business here. I'm sorry. I'm better off like that. that year and a half, man, what did I have? I had one client here, like Tracer. That's rough, man. I don't want to do my life like that. I would think someone who works in a hospital around it would end up getting it despite being... That happens. That absolutely happens, although they are using protective gear. So like before I was going to get my hernia operation, I was going and making a one-on-one with the doctor. She had a N95 on and a mask. She had two, and she was wearing, I believe, a face shield. So they're using common practices to stay safe. But if you just were vaccinated, even when it was slowed down this summer, you go in and see the doctor, you have to wear a mask, they have to wear a mask, and they're probably wearing eye protection. So, do you see what I'm saying? So, they're vaccinated. Most medical professionals, I believe, are mandated to be vaccinated. Is this a feeler gauge? Really? Where did I get this? That's interesting. How old is this? It's been in my car. Like, I can't remember the last time I checked the gap of a plug. I just changed the plug on the motorcycle, but it came gapped and everything. I didn't check it. That's really interesting. Huh. Maybe I was working on an old generator that I gave away. I think the carb was fucked up. I gave it to my neighbor kid. It wasn't worth that much. Wish I had it. I would have worked on the carb a little bit. I mean, I'll do that on something like that, but I ain't gonna work on a weed eater. You know, I'm not gonna work on a weed eater, and I'm not gonna work on a fuel inject. You know, I'm not doing it. And if I had a car that had a carb, I'm not working on that either. Because there's people that can do it better than me. Seriously, the time that I would spend doing that would just be outrageous. So I gotta go in and have some more coffee, and that's it. And just remember that not all barks are the same. They aren't. And a lot of times it becomes behavior. Everybody's probably quiet. If anybody's making any noise, it's probably Merlin, but he might be quiet because I was like, really, you better shut your mouth, son. You know, I was giving him a lot of fucking energy going at him. You know, you better shut the fuck up, because he's been real good. So when you're working with a dog and then flipping back into that behavioral problem, you might have to use pressure again to get him to stop. And the pressure that I was using was one, an e-collar that I controlled, and verbal pressure, and my body language. You're pissing me fucking off. Shut the fuck up. Like that. You can say whatever you want to the dog. Don't smack the dog or anything like that, okay? Don't use the bonking method. Don't do that. Don't hit the dog, okay? But you can say whatever you want. They do not have language. If you said, you are a dumb motherfucker, shut the fuck up, and you're talking to the dog, no problem. You're doing that and you're talking to a kid, you are being abusive. But to say it to a dog, no problem. If you say to the dog, you better knock that off or else I'm going to get the chancla. Don't get the chancla, right? But it's a dog. It's a dog. They're just hearing tone. That's it. So if you don't use enough pressure, meaning verbal pressure, your body language, or maybe even the collar, the e-collar, the dog will not stop doing it. And it's about consistency, and you got to keep going with it. So even if like your dog's jumping up on you and you need it to stop, right? You get it to stop 3 times, you encourage it to jump up and it stops, you're gonna have to do it the next day. And when it doesn't jump up, great. Okay? And then you're gonna do that for a month or so. Keep it, see if the dog will jump up on you, and if they do, then no. But you have to keep doing it. You have to put the nail in the coffin, so to speak. So anyway, I'm gonna charge up the phone. We'll be outside in a little bit. I can't believe I found this feeler gauge. Like, I don't know why it would have been out here. There's a fuel injected car. Why did I put it in here? I don't know. That's really weird. Later. That dog, Merlin, he's well worth it. He is. That's an awesome dog. All dogs are awesome. Take your time if you have a problem, and you have to keep pressure up. Keep pressure up until the dog quits. If the dog isn't quitting, your pressure isn't high enough. Okay? But it should be a combination of pressure. The collar, me being verbally, fuck you, shut up, and my body language. You better knock that fucking off. Okay? So it's a combination of shit to bring it up to a pressure that's high enough to get the dog to quit.